Welcome to Crosstalk Solutions. My name's Chris, and today we're going to be reviewing probably the least expensive UniFi product that I've ever reviewed, and that is the USP-Plug-US. That's the model number. This is the UniFi Smart Power Plug. And this is not like you would think, where it's sort of a smart plug that you can, control your appliances and your other devices in your house with this device, through UniFi. That is not what this is for, at least not initially. That's not what this is for. This is a very specific purpose in the sort of UniFi infrastructure. This smart plug is made so that you plug your ISP's modem into the plug. And basically what happens, it's completely automated. There's literally like no settings for this thing. I will show you in the UniFi interface in a minute. But basically you plug your ISP's modem/router, whatever device your ISP gave you, into this power plug, and then you plug this into the wall or into your UPS. And if UniFi detects that your internet has gone down, it power cycles the modem, right? Or it power cycles this device, which then power cycles the modem. So the notion being that in the event of an internet outage, a lot of times just rebooting your cable modem or your DSL modem or your fiber, whatever termination device, that usually fixes the problem, or can oftentimes fix the problem. So for $19, you basically just have a device that plugs in and then automatically reboots the modem when it senses a failure. So let's take a look at the product page here first. So this says the UniFi Smart Power Plug is a device installed between the AC outlet and the power plug of an internet modem or router. So we get all that. Now, there are a few misconceptions. Ubiquiti had a little bit of messaging trouble with this product. So for instance, the first inconsistency that we find here is it says requires a UniFi Dream Machine. Now I've confirmed with Ubiquiti that that is actually not the case. This works on any UniFi controller version 5.12.42 or higher, but you also have to have an access point because this thing initially authenticates onto the network and connects to the network through wireless, right? So you have to have UniFi 5.12.42 or higher plus some access point, and then this thing will work. So features: reboots third-party internet modem or router when the UniFi network controller detects it is offline. Works with various internet connectivity devices featuring a USB plug, blah, blah, blah. I don't know really, that one doesn't really mean anything. Seamlessly integrates to the UniFi network, adopted over Wi-Fi with UniFi controller or UniFi network app. And then multi-function button features status information, power on, off, and factory reset. So let's take a look at that first. So here's the quick start guide. This thing, I'm not even going to do an unboxing. It's literally, you get a box and the plug inside the box. There's nothing to the unboxing, so there's nothing extra. This is literally the only thing inside the box. In the quick start guide, here's another one of those inconsistencies with Ubiquiti's messaging. It says UniFi Network Controller Software 5.12.32 or newer, and I think that this is a typo because I believe it's supposed to be 5.12.42 or newer. Because when I had my own UniFi controller, my CloudKey Gen 2 Plus right back here, when I had this on 5.12.35, it would not detect these devices. I had to upgrade my UDM into beta mode, which then put 5.12.42 on the UDM, and then they were detected by the Dream Machine. So again, I'll get into that a little bit more in just a bit, but so far that's what I have found. So 5.12.42 or newer is what you need. Other requirements, again, one UniFi access point or Dream Machine for the USB plug to connect to, and then of course you have to use the app. I didn't use the app, I actually adopted straight through the UniFi interface. So then we have sort of a multifunction LED, right? So it's a button on the side, it blinks slowly when it's waiting to be adopted. If it's double pulse flashing, that means it's connecting to the Wi-Fi. I actually haven't seen it in that state. It probably happens very quickly. And then steady blue means that it's powered on. When you just press the button when it's powered on, it will turn off the modem, right? And then pressing the button again will turn it back on. Also, if you hold the button in for 5 seconds, it will factory reset the USP plug here. Installation is dead simple. Again, you just plug it into the wall, you plug your ISP's router or modem into the USB plug, and then you're good to go. For those of you wondering, currently this is only available as a US Type B power outlet plug. Or I should say it only fits into US Type B power outlets. You could probably get like an international converter and use this, in Europe or other places, but I haven't tried that. I'd be curious if you do try that. Let me know down in the comments below. I don't see why that wouldn't work, but you just have to have an extra piece on here to convert it to whatever country you happen to live in. And I found when I initially plugged it in, so I plugged into a Type B socket, right? Or I plugged it into the back of my UPS, basically. And then I plugged my Type A, US Type A, so that's Type A without the ground plug, right, or the ground arm, whatever you call it. I plugged my Type A modem into the plug, and it actually was a little loose. Like, it was a little loose for my liking, so I'm probably going to take, like, a tie strap and try to, like, secure it on there more snugly, because certainly you wouldn't want the Type A connector to your modem getting loose and coming out of this thing. That would be bad news, because that means your internet's going to go down. So this is like a Raspberry Pi Type A plug. This one actually fits snugly and securely, and I wouldn't be concerned about this one, but for some reason the Charter Spectrum modem that I have was a little bit loose hanging out of this. I don't fault Ubiquiti for that. I fault the power plug, whatever power plug. You could probably also like bend the pins out a little bit on the Type A plug, and maybe it'll fit in there a little bit better, something like that. So okay, so let's see. So let's take a look at this thing in UniFi. Here is my R2 Dream 2. This, again, is my UniFi Dream Machine right here, the UDM. And, by the way, speaking of UDM, today, this is January 28th, 2020 that I'm recording this. Today, the UDM Pro came out of early access and is now generally available. I don't have one. I'm hoping to get one soon. If I do get a UDM Pro, I will do a review on it as soon as humanly possible. I've had a lot of people asking me about that just today since it came out of beta or early access. So here's my UDM, and here's the interface. We can see I actually have two USB plugs. Now look at this. It doesn't even have its own icon yet, right? So this is a UAP-AC Pro kind of looking icon, and it kind of shows up as an access point. Another interesting thing is if you click on it, it says the model number is UniFi UP1 as the model. So they must have changed the model at some point, because now the model on all of the rest of the packaging and the quick start guide is model number USP-Plug-US. So again, it looks like they're just trying to sort of play catch up with the marketing and the nomenclature and just sort of trying to get everything streamlined, and it's not quite there yet. So we can see that this thing received an IP address. We can see the uptime of the device, memory usage, etc., etc. We can see which access point it is uplinked to. In this case, it's a UAP Flex HD. And that's about it. There's really nothing as far as config goes. You can set the name, but there's no information for radios, WLANs, services. I mean, it looks like you might be able to change the VLAN, but the only option is LAN, so really probably not. And then you can choose DHCP or set it with a static IP address. And that's it. Like, there's nothing else that you can do with this thing. There's no configuring. There's no, like, scheduling on and off like you would expect with, like, a typical smart plug. You know, they normally have some way to, like, say, hey, turn on at 8 a.m. and turn off at 8 p.m., something like that, right? This is not like that. Now, whether or not Ubiquiti is going to eventually have firmware available that makes the smart plug an actual smart plug that can control other devices, like maybe through the UniFi app, you'd be able to turn something on and off or schedule it or whatever. That remains to be seen. Now, I don't have any special insight into UniFi Ubiquiti, whether they're planning on doing that, but it seems to me like a real missed opportunity to not do that, right? So, for instance, they should have the ability to just, turn on and off, set it on a schedule, etc., or specify in UniFi that this plug is controlling the ISP's modem, and this is the one to reset if it detects some sort of power outage, right? So that would be, or not power outage, internet outage, excuse me. Reset the power when there's an internet outage. So I don't know. I don't know if Ubiquiti is going to eventually do that or not. I know if they did do that, they'd sell a hell of a lot more of these smart plugs rather than just, every UniFi installation basically just needs one of these. Like, I bought 3 of them. I didn't realize when I bought them that it was just for modems. I guess I should read the, information a little bit more closely. But I bought 3. I don't even need, I only need 1 of them, really. Here's another interesting thing. You can see that I had adopted 2 of them. So this second one here that's currently offline is this one that I have in my hands. And if you go to the dashboard, it actually shows up as an access point being offline, right? So I imagine at some point they will have to build in like information about these little IoT devices, maybe a separate, line here. They'll have, USG/firewall/Dream Machine, switches, access points, and then IoT also, or something like that, I imagine. Again, I'm just speculating at what might happen in the future, so I don't really know for sure. The only other thing that I wanted to talk about here is this error. So I saw that someone else was getting this error in the Ubiquiti forums, and it's related to the stun server connectivity. Now, I checked my stun settings, I checked the device host name for the UDM, everything looks fine, but I'm still getting that stun error, and I found the stun error while I was troubleshooting getting this thing online in the first place, and then when I went back to look for it again, I couldn't find it. So I don't remember exactly what it was, and I didn't spend too much time on it, but I haven't seen this like stun error thing for a long time. Like, this is probably going back about 2 years. Ubiquiti had some issues with like stun server errors, and I haven't seen it in a while. So hopefully this will clear up with another firmware revision or upgrade or something like that. All right, last thing I want to mention is, as I said, you have to have the UDM, or you have to have, I guess, beta firmware in order to run these. You have to have 5.12.42 or higher to run these smart plugs, and that is not the latest stable version. The latest stable version, I believe, is 5.12.35 as the recording of this video. So, on the UDM, if you happen to have a UDM, if you want to enable the beta track so that you can upgrade your UDM to the sort of beta software that can run this thing, I'll show you where to do that. So you come down here to settings, and then you don't want to be in the classic mode, you want to be in the new settings mode. You want to scroll down till you get to updates, and then click on advanced, and right here you can choose the controller release channel and the device firmware release channel, and you also want to make sure that you have access private release channels with your Ubiquiti account. That way, if you have beta access with your Ubiquiti account, you can then sort of synchronize this and use the beta versions. All right, so there you have it. That's a quick look at the USP-Plug, or the UniFi Smart Power Plug, I guess they're calling it. What do you guys think of this device? Is this something that you think you would utilize? Now, one thing that I haven't tested is the actual recovery when the internet goes out, right? So I have it plugged in, but there's no way to like run a test through UniFi or anything like that. It just sits there, and I expect that it'll work, when it detects that the internet's down. I don't know. And also, like, how does it work when the internet goes down? If the internet goes down and it reboots your ISP's modem, the ISP's modem comes back up, does it keep rebooting the modem until it notices the internet is back up? How long does it wait in between reboots? Things like that. Like, there's not a lot of information on this thing or how it works. If you guys have more information on it, or if you've sort of seen it do its thing in the wild, put that down in the comments below. I'd be curious to hear about your experience with this device. All right, so that does it for this quick video on the USP-Plug. If you guys have any questions, put them down below. Maybe other people will be able to answer them. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot of information about this device yet, even though it is generally available. This is not an early access device. Okay, well, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please click subscribe. My name's Chris with Crosstalk Solutions, and thank you so much for watching.